Hello, girl. Welcome to a new episode of your Island Girl podcast, your cozy corner on the internet. So glad that you are joining me here today to a new episode. So happy. And today's episode, we are talking about how we can, in a city where everyone is rushing around with no time to breathe, how am I supposed to get my life together? How? I see my roommates and my friends coming home and they are so tired of coming home and see their bedrooms in a mess with a lot of clothes in the bedroom, and they are coming home late from work and still have to do dinner, and then you have to figure it out if you have the all nutritions that your body needs for that day, if you have a balanced diet. You need to go to the gym to stay healthy and stay in shape. It's just too much. It's just too much to take. And don't worry, girl, I'm here to help you. We're practically halfway through the year, and it feels like we are racing against the clock to get everything done and stay on track. First things first for me, it's the vision board. I think it's time for you to look to your vision board, to redo it, to just look at your vision board right now. Have you looked at your vision board lately? Just look at your vision board, figure out the things that you already accomplished, figure out things that doesn't make sense anymore because life happens and it doesn't make sense to be there anymore. And put new pictures, figure out another few things that you need to do and it makes sense for you to put on your vision board right now. Just take some time to do your vision board, your second vision board, because it's, we are half through the year, so it makes total sense to just look at your vision board and understand what needs to be done, what is already done, what he doesn't make sense anymore, and what are other goals that you have until the end of the year, just to keep you going, just to also have this conversation with yourself and be totally honest and transparent with yourself, and just talk to you and understand what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and get motivated for the rest of the year and figure out, small steps to get to that goals that you put in our vision board. Do some, just take care of your vision board. It needs to be a vision board that you can look up to. It needs to be aesthetic. It needs to be something that when you go to your phone, you just see in your phone that you have the most iconic vision board that is so aligned with yourself. For me, that is the most important thing. And as we are in the halfway through the year, it makes total sense to go back to the vision board and understand what is that you're missing, what is that makes you feel anxious, what is that goal that is maybe too ambition, and it's making you more anxious than it should be. Because girl, we're not here to be anxious. We are here to talk with ourselves, to sit down with ourselves, be gentle with yourselves, understand what is these goals that you put in your vision board in the beginning of the year. Maybe they were too ambitious, maybe you already accomplished them and doesn't make sense to look at your vision board right now, but because it's not aligned anymore with your perspective, or maybe other opportunities came up and it makes sense to put them in your vision board so you can daily remind you of them. So just take some time, girl, breathe, talk to yourself, make some questions, just take some time with you and your vision board and make this new vision board for the rest of the year. And let me know in the comments if you did. The second one for me is the CEO time. As I already told in some previous podcast episodes, for me it's important to have 1 hour every single year just for me and myself. One CEO hour planner, just like if I was a CEO of a company, I need some time to figure it out. What are the KPIs for the next week, the KPIs for the next quarter, As the companies have this time to figure it out their strategy for the week, for the year, for the quarter, it is so fucking important for you, girl, to have this time frame, this hour, in your calendar to just be with yourself, to figure out a strategy for the next week, to identify also some things that happened the previous week and what you can actually put them in the next week. Some of things that didn't went well in the previous week, and you want to make sure that this week it's done differently, or some other things you wanted to accomplish the previous week and you didn't, so you want to make a new strategy for the next week to understand how you can accomplish them. Just for example, you didn't do the meal prep and you need to make sure that you have all the nutrition to your body. How can I make that happen in this week? How can I accomplish all the nutrition that my body needs? Balance your diet through the next week. Understand how you can have your life easier for the next week. Because we don't want to rush, girl. We don't want to rush. It doesn't make sense for us to rush. I know that some weeks are more difficult, some weeks are much easier, but with this CEO time, you can actually just clear your calendar, talk with yourself, understand what happened last week, what it can be done better in the next, and figure it out some spots in your calendar that you can actually make this meal prep happen. Maybe perhaps it's just 2 hours on a Sunday to make all the meals for the week. Maybe you prefer to do twice in a week and you have a spot in, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday that you can do another meal prep and have all the meals ready and do not get in a rush to have the dinner ready and do it when you are tired or already hungry. So this CEO time for me is essential. It's really essential to do some questions for you. I have here some other things that for me it's important to do in this CEO time. As I mentioned, it's not that much time. It's just 1 hour. And you can do it, when you are in the metro or when you are in the subway getting home and you have that little time without anything to do and you are like, okay, I'm going just to use this time to do the CEO planner. Okay, so what other things is the calendar review. So look at what happened, as I mentioned, and what's coming up in the next week. So perhaps some of the things that is going to happen next week and you need to adjust with other goals that you have. Then checking out your goals, so understand with your vision board that we already redone what are the things that you can do, the baby steps that you can do the next week to accomplish those goals. Then schedule focus time. In your calendar, just check some focus time and block out time in your calendar to complete prioritized tasks. Preferable on Monday morning is usually that day that you wake up and you're like, hey, let's get this week started, let's go, let's get motivated, and you have that spot in the morning to just figure it out, what are the tasks that you need to prioritize, and you have that in your calendar. The last one is the financial planning. It's so important, girl, for us, especially with the summer coming up. You need to understand the financial planning. You need to understand what are your financial goals. And what I like to do in this time is just to understand how much I spent the last week and what are my goals of spending in the next week. So I can get all of my financials organized. I can understand where all my money is going and to understand where I'm spending more, where I'm spending less, what should I invest more, what should I invest less, and have my financial goals on track. And the last one, girl, is to understand how to succeed without any rush. And this one, girl, is just so complicated. I find myself also doing this a lot. I'm very hard on myself, and it's very complicated to get everything that I want to without any rush, without criticizing myself, without being hard on myself. And we really need to succeed without rush, without being so hard on ourselves. And one of the things that I'm trying to do to reorganize myself these days is actually to reorganize my thoughts and realize that I understand where these thoughts are coming from, why my mind is acting like this. It's just a way to protect ourselves. But what is happening in our mind is not actually the truth. So we need to understand and to affirmate to ourselves that we are doing our best. We are doing our best. And yes, sometimes we feel miserable. Other times we are at the top of our game. But we keep doing what needs to be done. Sometimes we rest, and it's okay to stop and rest. Seriously, do not be hard on yourself when you have time to rest. We need to give ourselves that gift. We don't always need to give 100%, and it's important to set aside these moments in our schedule for rest and time to do nothing. Just exist. Only then we can find order amid the chaos, and that's okay. I'm looking forward for you, girl, to be gentle with yourself, to get yourself together in a more calm, slowly type of way. And you got this, but you need to be gentle with yourself. This is all for today's episode. Thank you very much for being here with me today, and see you in the next episode. Bye!